Yeah, it's CC, CEO. Wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
Girl, I mean, it took a while to get here, though.
Oh my God, it was not overnight.
I'm not fat phobic, by the way. You are. But what you're doing was good, but just wrong person. No shade. Regret my college decision?
But guess what? I'm not leaving your room until you say something.
I just said no like 20 times.
As important. And can't nobody tell you different. Intention and impact are two different things. Let me repeat myself. Intention and impact are two different things.
You know what that turning point for me where I realized that for you was COVID 2020.
Really?
Welcome back to, well, not back, but welcome to the Not One of Your Little Friends podcast with Kyle and Constance. I am Kyle and
Constance Carter.
And we're going to be your favorite mother-daughter duo in the world because I don't think people really have conversations like we have conversations.
Right. I think maybe they do. I think some people have really great relationships with their mother, their daughter, but, they don't really have a representation that I think is shown in the media.
Right. Even though, you really ain't one of my little friends. I'm not going to talk to her about the nitty gritty,
Trust me, I don't want to know about the nitty gritty.
But I will talk to her about
point of
things. Like I will talk to her about everything else, like relationship, who I'm talking to. I'm actually really excited for this first episode. It's one that it was like pulling. It was literally, y'all. It was like pulling teeth trying to get here because when I tell you this one right here acts like.
Me?
See, she's trying to be cute for the camera. Like, me? Girl, you trying to be all cute. You don't act like that in real life.
What? Okay, you said me. Okay. Me, what about me?
This one, when I'm behind the scenes trying to set up, trying to put things together, make the lighting all cool. Because honestly, we a one-man production right now. So it's like she kicked back, her feet up on the couch, cucumbers on her eyes, talking about some. Let me know when you're ready. Like, what
is talent? I mean, let me know where my
talking about some cheetah talent.
Yeah, let me know where my lines are, where I stand.
She is so Hollywood.
That's it. I mean, it's what it is. So, Kai, tell them a little bit why you wanted to do this podcast.
So, I wanted to start the Not One of Your Little Friends podcast because I kind of touched base on this a little bit, but I just really do feel like people don't really have conversations like we will have conversations. And I feel like it would be more like a generational healing type of podcast because, you could see African American, Black mother and daughter have like these conversations. Y'all probably like, what's the conversation? We'll just flow into that, I guess,
Yeah, I think it's also important. The reason why I was agreeable to it, because my daughter and I, we have a really great relationship. We can talk about just about anything, except for we do have boundaries. I don't want to hear everything because I'm not one of her little friends. So, but for the things.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but but based on like what you're just saying right now too, it's just like, we started having these conversations when I was like young. Like we first started off having this conversation when I was 13 years old and I was bullied growing up. One thing about it, I can't nobody bully me now. Okay. But I was bullied, and not to get too much into it, my mom found me crying in my room. I'm already getting too much into it. So my mom basically found me crying in my room, and she wouldn't leave until I told her what was wrong. And then that started just me opening up to her. I think that's the first time like I really opened up to my mom. And then the only way I was able to cope in middle school was every night after school, before I went to bed, I would just go in my mom's room and we would just talk. We just talk about everything. And that was like my form of therapy for me. And it really helped shape me to who I am today. And I feel like she made me feel like my voice is heard. And she let me know at a young age that I am wise and I am certain things. And like, she just put a lot of like seeds in me at such a young age. So that's why I also feel like podcasts would be necessary, just because it's nothing unordinary. It's something new. Like, we always do this type of stuff. So,
But you know what made, as you were saying that, what made me stay in your room? Because when I was young and something happened to me when I was in elementary school, and I said, I'm going to tell my mom. And I called her at work and I said, Mom, I have to tell you something. I was so scared to tell her. And then I said to myself, well, if she doesn't ask me when she gets home, I'm not going to tell her. Because I was already so scared to tell her anyway. And so she never asked me when she got home. You know, life be life and whatever. The day went by, whatever. But I vowed when I was a child that if my child ever said something like that to me, I was going to make sure that I listened relentlessly until they told me what the issue was, because I know how it felt for me and I needed some advocacy. But I know sometimes children, they need that extra push. Yeah, they may say no the first time, they may say no the 10th time, but guess what? I'm not leaving your room until you say something, until you tell
I
me what's
just said
going
no
on.
like 20 times. I was like, no, Mom, no,
Yeah.
no, I don't want.
And I was like, I'm not leaving until I understand what it is that you're going through. And it was on me as the parent to make sure that I was able to pull that out, but also provide a safe space for you, because, you know, you needed to have that place where it was a place of non-judgment, where you felt like your voice could be heard. And that was important for me to tell you. So that planted the foundation, I think, for where we are today. And, you know, you're smart and you're brilliant and you're beautiful and all the things.
I was smart, I was kind, I was important.
And can't nobody tell you different, because you got that foundation, and
It
even
took a while to get here, though.
oh my God, it was not overnight.
It took a while to get here.
My God.
I was just crying last year.
But here's the thing. So now that she knows she's smart, now that she knows she's beautiful and all the things, now I got to bring her back down to reality. Now I got to talk about her nappy-headed ways. Now I got to tell her that she ugly and she fat.
She be like, you're not as pretty as me, right? Girl,
I mean, now we got to be in competition. You know what I'm saying? Because, now she's on her high horse because she knows she's cute. So I got to bring her back down reality, a couple of notches. But the beautiful thing about that is that she knows that she's pretty anyway. She knows that I'm lying, because she has enough self-confidence in herself to know who she is. So let's talk about what it was like for you growing up in a situation where you were a super duper minority. You were the only Black kid, or not, you were the minority, double minority.
I was a minority in a minority school. Like, literally. That's the best I could describe it. Like, the high school I went to was 95% Mexican, 5% other. And the other is white, Black, all the other ones, Asian, Filipino, like all of them. So we originally from California. We reside in Maryland now. I was born in San Jose, raised in Stockton, and I was in a minority school. And that caused me to be subjected to, well, I would say not the fact that I was a minority in a minority school that got me subjected to being bullied. I also think it was also my upbringing that did subject me to being bullied. I don't know if we want to get too deep into that just yet. I had a non-traditional type of upbringing. My mother was the breadwinner and my dad was the stay-at-home dad. So my parents' parenting style was like two different type of parenting style. My mama was a bully growing up. She used to dream and wake up about fighting. Like, she was just so excited to go to school to fight somebody. My father, he was more of a, no, you go tell the teacher and all the type of stuff. I was always so scared of being altercations and things like that, because I was afraid that I was going to get in trouble at home, because, I had to just tell the teacher.
So when they would get into altercation, so for example, my son got into an altercation when he first went to a public school. He was taught not to fight back. And I was like, hell nah. Let me tell you something right now, son. Check this out here. If somebody gets within arm's reach of you and they look threatening, you better start stealing on them. I don't play them games.
The dynamic was just different. I was subjected to being bullied because of that, and I didn't really necessarily know how to stand up for myself. It took until I got older to really come into myself and stand up for myself. But we were just having this conversation the other day. Do you feel having a positive male role model will shape who you are as a person, man or woman? And why so?
Well, statistics show that children raised under either a two-parent household or a single father household actually come out better than children raised under a single mother household. So having a father in the household is vitally important to the success of a child. Not saying that people who are raised by single mothers aren't successful. It's just statistics show that if you're raised by a good father, that you're likely going to.
Keyword good or effective.
Uh-huh.
You know, just because that it's a male in the household doesn't mean it's going
Well,
to
that's a difference. Yeah, I didn't say male in the house. I said.
Oh yeah, not to negate what you're saying, but what I'm saying also it's the key word to have a good and effective man in the household, because that will shape who you are and shape the precedents.
Mhm.
You know, that they're the basic foundation. So if you, and also making sure that the husband and the wife or whoever, you know, is in the household are both on one accord.
Right.
And I think where the disconnect kind of came in my childhood was that y'all weren't in one accord. And so imagine how frazzled our minds are. When I say our, me and my brother, it's like our minds are trying to navigate life because one parent saying this and the other parent is saying that, and it's like,
well,
what
you know
I do?
what I tried to do, what I would try to attempt to do is to support what he was doing there. So I was trying not to contradict and trying to, like, you know, but soften it as a mother, because mothers and fathers are totally different. So you have your masculine energy and your feminine energy. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to, you know, just be a support to the agenda that was going on in the household, but also, you know, giving my part as a mother. That's what I tried to do.
Yeah, I can see that. You was like trying to play a role and things like that.
Try. So intention and impact are two different things. Let me repeat myself. Intention and impact are two different things. So you may have the intention to do something, but the impact that it leaves, it could be something totally different. So, you know, maybe my intention was something, but maybe the outcome, how it fell on the person who I was doing it to, came off different.
Yeah, like what you're doing was good, but it's wrong person. No shade, no shade. But like in an adult perspective, because I'm an adult and, you know, I'm going to have my own family one day and things like that. And so I'm thinking, you know, more family planning wise. And everything that you're doing or that you did is supposed to be a role of a wife. You're supposed to back up what the man is saying, but he has to have a solid foundation. And it's kind of hard to do that, especially if you're the man.
Oh, the wife is the man?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go here. So I will say that when we started off in this journey, we decided that we were going to have non-traditional roles. We agreed on it. And we said, we don't care what anybody else is doing. We're going to run our household the way we run our household. We're not living up to, according to other people's standards. How we do is how we do. You know, sometimes people will be like, well, what does he do? And stuff like that. And for me, I was like, don't worry about what he do. You know, I couldn't do what I do if he didn't do what he does, because I was always very protective of him. But what I realized, especially post marriage and during the divorce, is that when it all comes out in the wash and when you see how people really feel, a man should be a provider, because that's their natural inclination, is to be a provider. And if they're not a provider in some way, they innately don't feel as they are living up to their potential as a man. And it may come out in many different ways. I didn't realize that by having this arrangement, it probably emasculated him, because he didn't feel like he was doing his part as a man. And not probably he didn't even realize that that was what was going on inside of him, you know, him being unfulfilled in some way. In my understanding after, I really believe that there are roles as a husband and wife. I really believe that wife is just, a woman is naturally softer. A man is naturally harder. A woman, you know, should be the one there nurturing the kids every day. You know, they got to be kissed. Like for me, I used to be like, they need to be kissed up. Like when they wake up in the morning, kiss them up. Don't come in there and rah, rah, kiss them up, so they have a good day. You know, the mother needs to be in there be the first one in there to make sure they feel good about that day and all that stuff. And so I just feel like because we decided to go that non-traditional route, things came out the way they did, but I didn't understand it when I was in it until afterwards when I saw a lot of the reactions and the things that were said and done. And it was like, oh.
I think the problem there is, though, you do beat yourself up that you allowed that. But the thing is, it's just like, you shouldn't beat yourself up, because at the end of the day, as the man, you set the precedent. As the man, like, you shouldn't allow other people to demasculate. I can't say the word. Emasculate.
Emasculate. You're gonna make up your own word. Emasculate.
Right. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say, but you can't, and it's up to you to be that navigator of your life.
But you think about this though. We were kids. I was with him when I was 15, he was 17. So we were kids trying to figure it out. And I think the problem is when we got older, we didn't grow in the same direction. And so,
I'm trying so hard.
Hey,
I'm not trying to be shady at all. It's just like, I get that you were kids, but my little brother got more common sense.
Here's the thing. If we're going to do this podcast, we're going to keep it all the way real. So you say how you feel, I'll say how I feel. Okay?
Child.
No, for real. Like, I can't hold nothing back. There's no holding back. And I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to tell it like I tell it when I talk to you. So I'm not trying to like pretty anything up, but I'm just trying to give you perspective, I think.
And I'm not trying to negate what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from your perspective. Like, yeah, you were a kid. I just get your generation is just different from ours in a way where a lot of the time your generation, what generation are you? You're a boomer?
X. Negro, I'll slap the dog shit out of you.
No, on a serious note, your generation is more, y'all had to consistently go through things. Y'all the generation that be on the same job for 20 years. And
no, but here's the thing. You guys are so much more self-aware. You guys have more emotional intelligence. You guys have access to more information that lets you know really about life and the more of what else is out there. We didn't have that. So we winging it. We really winging it.
Yeah, but I'm just a big believer. If Sally got 3 apples, I don't know. Like, a spade is a spade. I'm a big believer. If it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck, it is. I'm just like, I get the whole love thing. I want to love this person because it's what it says. I think the issue is, though, people. I don't want to talk about religion, but people believe that suffering is part of our story.
Well, you pray to the universe anyway, so what you're saying is invalid.
Like, people are living in, I don't even know if people are gonna follow what I'm saying, because I keep going everywhere, but no, I'm just saying people keep living in the Old Testament, and I feel like Gen X is in the Old Testament because y'all keep going through the fire, fire. When are y'all gonna get to the hills, the promised land?
Some people choose to do that. I don't choose to live in that space, but some people choose to do that. So the lesson in it, though, Kai, is that, because here's the thing. Having children is the most wonderful and awesome and amazing responsibility that you would ever have in life. How you pour into and shape human beings is like, oh my God. And then how they turn out. And so, like, I'm ecstatically over the moon. Really? Oh, yeah.
You was just going off on me this morning.
I mean, yeah.
Right, like, you was just going off on us. Actually,
yeah.
She just went off on us yesterday talking about stuff. I was chilling in my room watching my Hulu. She texts everybody in the group chat talking about, I'm turning Hulu off.
No, I turned Amazon off.
Oh, Amazon.
Yes.
And I'm just like, and literally,
because right let me tell you why. Negro got Klarna or Afterpay on my credit. Now my credit gonna have Afterpay. So that's the reason why I went off on them. But what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted.
About how rewarding it is to have us.
It's very rewarding because you get to see the outcome of the children, of who they become is in large part of what you do as a parent. It's real. And so I'm like ecstatic because I have 4 amazing children. They're awesome and amazing and trifling and lazy. They're all the things. So yeah, they do get going off on. I'll give you an example. I clean up all day behind them. So now that I'm home a lot, so it used to be I worked from sun up to sundown when I was married. Now I work from home. And so since I'm home, I like to keep a tidy home. So I clean up all day, wiping down counters, and I'm cleaning the dishes. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I used to go to the gym. Can't even go to the gym no more because I clean up my house. It's sort of my exercise. I'm cleaning all day. So, they come, there's crumbs on the counter. I'm wiping the crumbs up instead of, raising, hurting my throat, raising my voice, all that stuff. So the boys are here, Christmas break, just cleaning up behind them, not saying nothing. But in my head, I'm taking notes, cleaning up stuff. And mopping constantly. I come in the kitchen. There was a pizza right next to the garbage can. And
I ain't do it. Disclaimer.
They had the nerve not to put the pizza inside the garbage can. They threw it on the ground next to the garbage can. Kept walking.
That's a great segue of how mothers parent their boys rather than the girls. Because I would never.
So
they're that trifling.
Let me tell you something, Man. There was something that clicked on the inside of me. There was something in that moment. If a cartoon character can show what was happening, revving up on the inside of me, it would be like the Tasmanian devil, like just going crazy. And I called each of them downstairs and I let their asses have it. My mama was here and she was on the phone like to my sister, girl, she rimming their ass, girl. Ooh, girl, she letting them have it. She was so happy because she probably was tired of seeing me just clean up behind these jokers, right? So nobody knew who did it. Nobody claimed the pizza. Nobody claimed the pizza. Somebody did it, but nobody claimed it. Yeah, so things like that. I mean, that's the trifling part. But when I tell you that they are all very mannerable, brilliant kids, they're going to do something in life, which I know for sure. Everybody has their flaws. All of them have things about them, but they're going to be wildly successful. And one thing that I attribute, which they always say no, but I say you've gotten some values from your father. And I always say this, but then they disagree. But what I say is, you guys are very well behaved. You guys don't talk back to adults. You guys are very respectful, very mannerable. Now that's because you had a father in the home and he made sure of that. And so I could attribute that to their dad. That's what I say. And we don't even have to get on that topic.
Because I already got it. Yeah. Okay. And that's what I admire about you. So many people can say anything negative about you, but you always gonna have something positive to say about them. Always. Is what one thing about it. And I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But with that being said, I don't have the best relationship with my dad. I mean, I don't got no hard feelings or whatever.
Say what you mean to me, what you say, girl.
Even before my parents got separated, divorced, or whatever, I've always kind of had struggle really communicating with my father. And one thing I can say, this woman right here has always had my dad's back at all times, even to this day. Like, my dad will have sometimes not the nicest things to say to my mom, but my mom is always going to make sure that we have a relationship with my dad, or she's the one that's always trying to check me if I have something negative to say. That's why I admire though too, because that takes a lot of strength and resilience to be the bigger person.
No, but you know what? Let me tell you something. When you're happy, you don't dwell in negativity. I'm happy. I'm truly happy. So I ain't got to be mad. I ain't got to be mean. I don't have to do any of that stuff because I'm really happy. You know what I'm saying? If I was unhappy, I would be toiling in the misery.
I want them to lose. Yeah, like that type of.
Yeah, I would be. So I'm happy. So when you're happy, you just want the best. Like, hey, listen.
That's real though.
Yeah, it is the realest shit. Like,
because it's just like what you bringing anybody else down to. You're not even at that level.
Yeah, man. My son told me, he said, Mom, why are you always taking up for him? He's done everything except for put a hit out on you.
Okay. But also that comes down to the whole emasculation of, you being the breadwinner and him not. But y'all did come to that agreement though for that situation to happen, but it was only supposed to be temporary.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. It was only supposed to be temporary.
It was.
You know, once you got on your feet again, you did ask too. You did ask, like, hey, I'm on my feet. Can you get a job? And then he was complacent and didn't want to do it. So how does that look in my eyes as the daughter? Your father is going to be the first reflection of the type of man that you're going to either attract or get with. And when I tell you, I've been going through the mud because I went to what's familiar. And I realized like a lot of that stuff isn't normal and not supposed to be a thing.
You know what I remember, Kai? When you got to a certain age, and the boys were still young, so they didn't understand it. And when you got to that age where you was like, you start looking at things, you was like, this is my mama's money. My mama's doing this. Mama, and you would say it, and I'd be like, no, Kai, this is ours. But there was something that clicked. I think you had to be about 15, 16 years old. You was like,
it was after you bought me a car.
Really? Why?
I don't know. It's just like after you bought me a car at 16 and then dad drove the car to my school, we bought you a car. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
That was the thing?
That was one of the things, yeah. I don't know. It just made me realize, like, what do you mean we? Mom's at work right now. On another note, I'm not even, and the thing is, what's crazy is I'm not even trying to be shady. Like, the things that you go through, you know it's bad when it starts sounding like shade. And it's really not shade, it's just facts. Fact of the matter is what happened and what it looked like.
Yeah, but I do remember when you really started expressing yourself, and then the boys were like, Kai, why are you always arguing with dad? Why you? So he had his three little backup singers always defending him. And then, unfortunately, when they came of age,
they saw exactly what I saw.
They started being the same way. Mm-hmm. And now you thought you let them have it? My God, I've heard some of those conversations.
Like what conversation?
The boys, you know, when a man, because they're men now, they're young men, when they went away to college. And I think that's a big thing when you start seeing different walks of life and how things go. Because when you are in a certain environment, this is all you know.
Right.
Right. So even with us, so we didn't go away to college. So how we were raised, this is what we know. Mm-hmm. How he was raised, this is what he knows. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really exposed to other things. Your brothers would have been the same way had they still been in the house. Mm-hmm. Maybe. They go away to college and they see how certain men behave and certain women perform and all those things. And so when they came back, they were like,
this is what's supposed to be.
So when even with me, so me and Warren Duders have had some knockdown dragouts. I mean, not many. We have an argument, me and Warren.
Girl, when he missed his flight.
Yeah, no, but I'm not talking about when something was his fault.
Oh.
I'm not talking about me going off on him, but with him in disagreement with me.
He do think that you be picking on him.
That's a trait that he got that I don't like, of no accountability. So yeah, he thinks we all pick on him though.
Right. Something ends up missing. You go to his room, exactly what's missing is in there. And he's like, why you guys even say that? You guys always blaming me for, I see it right here.
I'm still 10 toes down on the decision that I had to force him to go to an HBCU. So I don't have no problems with that decision. For me, I'm standing firm on that. So that right there, he had a problem with me on. He also remember the time on Kyron's birthday when we was in the car and I went off on y'all.
Oh, girl. Anyway,
that was another conflict that we had, me and Warren, and all of it. It was me versus all four of my kids.
Yes, literally. That's the thing.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give some balance here because I don't want anybody to think I'm just this perfect mom and then we're bagging on somebody else.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna get to you.
Yeah. Okay. Excuse you.
Like we're gonna segue into that, girl.
Okay.
Because there's some healing that I had to do from you.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And I would love to talk about that. But no, talk about the birthday.
One thing about it with the birthday, and also is that one thing about me, especially me growing up and being the oldest kid, the oldest child, me and my brothers are 5, 7, 9 years apart. I go through stuff, I get in trouble, it's just me. It's just me. They don't get the consequences. They don't get none of that. I get the iPad taken away. I get my Kindle taken away. All that type of stuff. I get everything taken away. I get punished. They do something. Everybody else getting the punishment. Every single person. Like she couldn't even have them do chores by themselves. I had to do chores by myself. They had to do chores in groups.
Anyway, your point is the day of the.
My point.
The day. So
the day of
set
her
the tone.
birthday.
It was his birthday. We had just had a great day. We went out to dinner. We did some activities. We had a good old time. We're driving home at the end of the night. We had a full day of activities with me and my 4 children. And they started talking about the past. And what happened?
Man, the way you done cussed us clean out for no, and y'all ungrateful, and y'all this, and y'all that. I'm like,
and I called my mom and my daddy and told them what happened. And they told me to cut y'all off. And they said y'all was ungrateful too. They gonna tell me I didn't let them cuss. The fuck? Let y'all cuss because your little Mexican friends could cuss in front of their mama. I didn't let them choose what elementary school. Nigga, are you serious? Like it was some dumb shit like that. It was dumb shit like that. It was dumb shit like that. Like, mom, you were so controlling. You didn't let us cuss. You didn't let us pick our own school. I was like, for real, and doubled down on it. And Warren kept going. He kept going, and everybody else was kind of like, Warren,
shut up.
Warren,
Okay, be quiet. Shut up. You see her getting madder. Shut up. Like I agreed one time. Okay, you got to fill the room.
Let me tell you something. That whole week, my youngest 2 had to walk home from school every day. They were like, we didn't even say anything.
Poor Kyra, because he's already going through it though. Like
I didn't talk to them ninjas the entire week. I didn't talk to none of them. Not all 4 of them. You hear me? I'm like, I didn't sacrifice my life for you ungrateful bastards. Like everything I do for you, and you gonna talk about I'll let you cuss and like it was so dumb and trivial, and then you double down on that shit.
No, the part where I agreed on though is that there are certain things that she didn't let me do, and that kind of made me codependent on her. She did my school projects for me. She wouldn't let the first day that I finally got to walk home from school. My cousins met me at the bus stop. Like I couldn't even walk to school by myself. Also, my college that I went to, you chose my college for me, and I wanted to. And no,
but this is the best option.
No, you didn't give me options. I already got accepted to the one I wanted to go to.
But this is the best option, and you should probably go here.
No, you were like, you're going there.
Her.
You're going there, and then all the application was in, everything was in, and then you're like, this would still be a good opportunity. You were trying to talk me into it after we were already in there, though. Like, so yeah, a lot of those things, and I do kind of. Do I regret my college decision? I could have went without it. It shaped me how I am to this day, like for sure. But I feel like if I went to the college that I wanted to go to, it would definitely have been a little bit.
The experience would have been greater.
It would have been better.
Yeah, I think so. So as you can see, so the things that they're complaining about are things that, as a parent, decisions that I made, which I thought were going to be in their best interest. So it's nothing that they've said or that they're saying that they sweating me on. Are things that like I just neglected them. I wasn't providing for them. Like stuff I didn't do is, Mom, you didn't allow me to do this. Mom, you did this for me. Mom,
years old, going to the doctor, calling you during the questionnaire.
Yeah,
like,
Mom, do I got this? Mom, do I got that? Right. So, but I think for your father too, I don't think he had ill intent either. I think we do things based upon our experiences.
It's just, I don't think it was ill intent. It's just he was very him-centered. It's another word for
self-preservation.
Yeah. Very. It's about me only. If it's going to be at the stake of the kids or anything else, I don't care. As long as I preserve myself and I get to where I want to be. So, yeah.
I got nothing.
I don't know what to really say to that. But I don't want to go super off.
I mean, we got other times and moments for those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we even get here?
I don't know. We were just kind of going down this rabbit hole, but like from my perspective, so this podcast is something that you came up with, and to kind of give an introduction of who we are in our relationship. And this was our very first one, so we're all over the place, but it gives you an idea of our relationship, our personalities, our perspectives. And I think as we continue to have these dialogues, because this is important too, it's important for her to say certain things about how she feels about whether it's me, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't feel bad when you tell me, Mom, I got a problem with you too. I don't have a problem with that, because number one, what you're saying is valid, but also I know that I've always tried to come with the utmost best intentions for you.
Also, what I will say, not to cut you off too, as I've gotten older and became an adult too, I realized, parents are literally
trying to figure it
just
out.
kids trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
Like literally, we don't know what we're doing here. If I had a kid at the age that you had me at 23, I can't even. I would feel like right now it would be a teenage pregnancy,
Right.
and I'm 26.
Right.
Like I couldn't even imagine. Like we're really just trying to really figure it out.
Yeah.
And the more empathetic I got, because I realized, you're doing the best you could. You know what that turning point for me where I realized that for you was COVID 2020.
Really?
Yeah. It was 2020 because that's when you were going through most of your turmoil and stuff with the divorce. You freshly got separated. I was in a relationship. I wasn't going through like the best phase of my life. It's big, my hair is nappy. Anyway, I'm not fat phobic, by the way. You are. But because I was going through a lot. And you were going through a lot at the same time, and you would call me and vent to me about what you were going through, and I voiced my opinion like, hey, I am going through a lot. Yeah, like stop calling me. Like who else could she talk to? Or like she's literally just trying to. It felt like I was talking to somebody who was like either my age or still just trying to figure it out, because that's really what you are doing. Like
this whole
time.
Yeah, this whole time you're thinking, this is my mom. She got it all together. She got it all figured out. She knows everything. She can solve any problems. And now you're at this vulnerable place where,
because as a kid, your parent is like not gonna put you on the same pedestal as God, but like you're our command.
You're the authority.
You're our dictionary. You're our internet.
Yeah.
We get everything from y'all.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was like in shambles at that point, and I was like, oh, she's not the dictionary anymore.
Yeah, she's actually.
She's actually that was that turning point for me.
Yeah.
I just turned 21 at that time. I was also going through therapy. We had the same therapist that we had to fire because the therapist got biased, because I would tell her things, she would tell me, you would tell her things, and then the stuff she told you would be more from defending me, and then the stuff that I told her would be more defending you, and then not from a therapist perspective. It was just, ugh. Y'all wrap it up in a minute. Our camera's starting to die now.
Anyway, everything is all learning. Life until we never stop learning until we die, Kai. And I think that's the thing. We'll always have something to talk about because we'll always be in learning mode. T. Harv Eker said the four most dangerous words in the English language is I already know that. How can you grow if you already know? So we just got to look at everything as a lesson. Everything is a blessing. Like every experience, even if it's hard and even if we're going through every dredging moment, it's an experience, it's a lesson. And so God wants the best for us. Know that there's another side to it. It doesn't feel good as we're going through it, but it'll be greater later. And that's what I know to be true. And that's what's been my constant my whole life, is that it'll always be greater later.
Y'all see the type of mama I got? Of course I'm dope. Okay.
You are dope, baby.
Period.
You are dope.
That was the gym, because and that's one thing I always try to pray to God is I don't ever want to get in our own way, in my own way. And so saying I already know that, it's, the easiest way to deter ourselves from greatness and deter ourselves from our purpose. And I had to pray about, this, because I found myself even getting in my own way. Like, oh, I have to look a certain way. I have to have hair done, or I go over a certain obstacle first so I can teach the people a lesson on the camera or something like that. And it's just, if I just go with the motions of life, whatever God has to teach me in that moment,
boom,
will be revealed to me. And so
that's the key, Kai. That's the key. We're in evolution. We don't stop.
Yeah.
And as long as we're here, there's always going to be something to be learned. And what we talk about, even what we talk about to your brothers, we have these conversations in the family. We were just talking to one of your brothers yesterday about this very thing. And so that's the lesson, baby. So we're going to keep sharing.
For sure. And I'm so excited for episode 2 and episode 222.
Yes.
We're going to keep elevating.
This will be our therapy, baby. This will be our therapy. And hopefully this will be the therapy to help other relationships. Because here's the thing. People always ask me, how do you have a good relationship with your daughter? And I have a great relationship with all of my children. And give me one word, and then we're going to end. One word to describe why we have a good relationship.
Because you listen. Pretty much.
Listen to your
Just
kids.
listen to your children and make your kids feel valued.
You ain't even got to say nothing else. That right there, that's
Period.
Drop,
well,
drop
thanks
the
for
mic.
tuning in to the Not When Your Little Friend podcast with Kyle and Constance. We will see you later. When do you want to start?
Episode 2. I don't know, but we'll see them on episode 2.
We'll try to drop Wednesday.
This is a little rough. They're going to get better as we go. Trust.
Clock that T.
Clock it. Good shit, Kai.
Period. I don't know. I just flowed. I feel like I thought I would freeze up, you know?
Yeah, you did great.
You did too.